cool. Some of you guys probably just seen this. I was laughing my fucking ass off watching this. The fucking classic. This game is fucking like, dog shit. Yo, you know the funny thing is, look, like I gotta say this.
This is like this character's so broke.
Every time, every time I watch videos like this, every single time. What's up, SPR? Every time I watch videos like that, it makes it's so. What am I trying to say? It makes my decision to completely abandon that shit show of a game, that product that they call Tekken 8. I mean, literally, when I watch this is good ass Tekken right here. This is high level Tekken right here. Now this guy that's getting sled on, this is Joker.
Nice.
This is a legitimate elite level player. Okay, this is not some scrub. He's getting hit.
Nice
Man is getting.
This is like this character's so broke.
I just can't help it. It's, you gotta, like, the thing is, I've been telling people, what's up, Final Boss? I've been telling people that Tekken 8, it literally is a party game. I've been telling people this for months. I understand I don't have the largest fucking YouTube channel, you know. Basically, it's like this: as a content creator, don't be fooled by somebody's subscribers, because it shows I have over 2,100 subscribers, but best believe it's only like maybe a good 100 that might engage with my content. So out of those 100 people, which I completely salute each and every one of you guys, I have been preaching this for months, damn near over a year, as to the current state of Tekken 8 as a game, as a product. I have broken down why the game is the way it is. I've addressed who this game is marketed toward. I addressed why I was about to say Microsoft, Namco decided. I explained all of this. So when I decided to say fuck this game, which took a while, because let me just put it to you guys in this particular way. When you play Tekken as long as I have, which has now been about 31 years, you develop a bit of a toxic relationship. I understand that there are many people that it's so hard to let this game go. And I don't think anybody can speak to this even more than me. I have been playing this game since I've been 14 years old. I will be 46 this year. So we're talking about I've gone to Canada, California, Virginia, Rhode Island, Philly, up and down the Eastern Seaboard. I've been representing my character Lei Wulong for over fucking decades. So getting to the point where I said, fuck this game and I'm going to move on was very, very hard. So I can understand and I can empathize why people find it difficult to move on past this game. But if you are truly not enjoying Tekken 8, you have to let it go. You have to let it go. You have to, if nothing else, for your own mental health. So that's what I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? It literally is like you're dealing with I'm reading the chat here. It literally is, it is a breakup. It is a toxic relationship. And and I will give people like ShinBlade, who is another elite level player. I always shout him out. I'll give another subscriber of mine, Crypto God. He definitely is he's a firm supporter of Virtua Fighter, which Virtua Fighter is the superior game. It just does not have the type of it. Virtua Fighter does not have the type of brand awareness. It does not have the visibility, and it does not have the mass appeal that a Tekken and a Street Fighter has. You know what I'm saying? But Virtua Fighter is the superior fighting game. It always has been. It's just that if you look at and I apologize not engaging right now, but usually when I'm not looking at the chat, it's just because I'm trying to stay on a point, because you guys I might get my point derailed. If you look at a game like Street Fighter and Tekken, those are commercially viable products that appeal to a mass audience, the mass audience of people that prefer to have things made easier. If you look at a game like King of Fighters, maybe Fatal Fury, Virtua Fighter, those games tend to demand more from the player than a Street Fighter or a Tekken, which it's not surprising, or it shouldn't be surprising, that the two more popular games is Tekken and Street Fighter, because those two games, not saying that Tekken and Street Fighter doesn't require skill. I'm not saying that. But if you're looking at pound for pound, Tekken versus Virtua Fighter in terms of demanding of skill and ability, that's like day and night. When I look at high level competition from Street Fighter and I look at the pros that play King of Fighters, it's like two different animals. It's like two different worlds. And so this is why when you look at those types of games, they do not have the type of presence that Street Fighter and Tekken has in the United States. I can't speak about outside of like say in the UK, but in America, unfortunately, Americans prefer shit that's easy. So this is the reason why those types of games have such a greater foothold than a game like King of Fighters and Virtua Fighter. You have to understand, when I look at what Ben Inflated just said, he says, yeah, it's sad, bro. The devs let us down big time. You have to look at it from this standpoint. Who did the devs really let down? Who is us? I would venture to say that the us in his statement represents the hardcore market, the hardcore audience. The greater gaming community, Namco, the developers of this game of Tekken 8, they prefer to go after a wider market. And I thought about making a standalone video for this, but I know it would probably take me a lot of effort in terms of gaining the sources, and I'll be lucky if it even has 50 views. So that's why I was kind of like, if I'm going to do it, I might as well talk about it in a fucking stream, because it's much easier, which is why I'm doing it right now. Because I came across a video from a guy named, he's an MMA fighter, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. And he was talking about the UFC and saying how the UFC has they've abandoned the hardcore market, the hardcore audience. They're going more toward a casual audience. And when I saw it, it was I think it was a YouTube short, and I was like, this is exactly what's going on in gaming, and it's been happening for a long time, and it goes beyond just Tekken 8. Tekken 8 is just something. It's basically just another example of developers seeking to appeal to a broader market. Why? Because development costs are increasing exponentially, and there's a lot more pressure on the developers to meet certain financial quotas. So if you only have an audience that is appealed to, that is of a very, like, for instance, if your game is gate kept behind actual skill and the time it takes to acquire that skill, that might put off certain players. Because for a long time, it has been understood and known that Tekken has been difficult. I've never found Tekken to be difficult, honestly, but that's the general word on the street. So that may have turned off some people. So the direction and the decision that the Tekken developers decided to make Tekken 8 more accessible, basically dumbing down everything to try to bring in people that may have felt that Tekken was this super hard game to get into. Now you have a bunch of journeymen, a bunch of tourists, a bunch of low-level scrubs that's able to keep up with elite / OG players like myself, just to put myself in this situation, where those same players wouldn't even be able to take a game off of us in other games, in other Tekkens. But this is the shift that we're seeing. I've been seeing this across other genres. I've been seeing people talk about, Dark Souls or Elden Ring should have an easy mode added to the game. Or I've seen people talk about Hollow Knight, that they were talking about adding an easier difficulty setting. So it goes beyond just fighting games, but people who only eat, sleep, shit, and play Tekken, they don't know anything outside of that Tekken bubble. So that's why people like myself, I try to bring out or share the information that, hey, what's going on in Tekken right now, it's not an isolated incident. It's actually something that's happening across the board. And it's important for me to try to relay that information to those who may think that this is only a Tekken related situation. Let me see. But a lot of times that might not make sense to people. People might feel that, this is what's happening with Tekken 8 is it's just only relegated to Tekken, and it definitely is not. This change, this shift has been happening slowly over the course of time. It's been happening very, very slowly. It's just that many people just haven't realized it. Fifth Gear Josie. Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, the thing is, people, I don't think when you say people don't like having skills anymore, I think to really be a little bit more accurate, I don't think it's the people. If you're saying people in terms of gamers, I feel that there are gamers out there that appreciate skill. They appreciate difficulty. You have an entire genre of people in the Souls-like community that reject the notion of the developers adding an easy mode for a game like Elden Ring or Sekiro. Those games' identity, and that's a term you've been hearing a lot in Tekken, for instance, a game like, or franchises that are like Souls-like, their identity is steeped in the difficulty and overcoming the challenges in those games. So when you start meddling with the identity, that's something you don't do. And that's the problem that's been one of the problems that's been going on with Tekken is that the developers, they're sacrificing the identity of Tekken in favor of making the game more appealing to journeymen, just so that they can increase their total addressable market. Now, business-wise, this makes sense. However, you have to find a balance. And when I look at Tekken 8, the developers, they basically, whether consciously or unconsciously, they've basically said, fuck the balance. We're just going to say the hell with that. We just want more people to play our game. And I think, you know, I don't know if they're recognizing that they're doing more harm than good. As far as I'm concerned, I'm out of it. I'll merely report on it like a regular content creator. But in terms of me playing Tekken 8, it is no longer worth my time. It's no longer worth my mental health. It's no longer worth my effort. And it's no longer worth my airtime to even place that game on my stream. So that's just where I look at it. You know, I think that, you know, and I'm not ignoring you guys, but because I feel like many of us that, you know, you guys in the chat, you're picking up what I'm putting down. The identity of a game, of a franchise, of a company is very integral for your growth, for your brand awareness, for who you are as a product and a company. The franchise of Tekken has built up its identity over many, many years. It's built its own community, and it's had its own flair. I've said something several months ago, and I can't even remember which video it was, where I said something to the effect of, let me try to remember what I was going to say. I remember when they first came out with the announcement of Tekken 8, before the game even came out, and I learned through interviews and stuff like that with Harada at the time, where they were going in a more aggressive nature, an aggressive path. For me, the type of player I am, I'm more of an aggressive player anyway. I'm more of what you call a pit bull. I'm more of a pit bull player. I'm not a turtle. So for me, I was like, okay, this works for me, right? A change in pace in terms of aggression. But once, you know, adding these meters and adding heat, that was something that I felt was that was something that I just felt it was not the right thing. It was not the right direction. One, because this is not something that the Tekken developers are used to. That's like saying, okay, we're going to have, and not to say it's impossible, but that's like saying we're going to have the people from FromSoft, the ones that make Elden Ring, we're going to have them make a racing game. That's not really what they're known for. Now, it's not to say that they couldn't do it, but they're going to probably make some mistakes along the way. And is it really worth for them to do that? So to bring it back, when you add meter to a game like Tekken and chip damage and these augmented character states, you're asking, there's a lot more variables that you are not experienced in, and you are 100% going against the identity and the nature of what Tekken actually is. And it's fine to try new things. It's fine to evolve. But the thing I was going to say before all of this, and I had a chain, my train of thought got derailed, was when the developers, when they first came out with Tekken 8, and I felt, for me, that they were not confident in bringing out Tekken and relying on the graphical upgrades, relying on the new characters, the new moves. They weren't confident in just having that being Tekken 8. They felt the need to add all of these extra unnecessary mechanics, which they are not skilled in implementing. And also the way they balance games is not ideal. Tekken, the Namco developers, they have never been ones that were solid at balancing anything. And I think many of you have seen this. If some of you out there that's in the chat right now, or to those of you that might watch this after the live, if some of you were on the fence and actually believing that the Namco development team for Tekken were great at balancing, I hope that season 3 is a rude awakening for you guys, and that you recognize finally that maybe they are good at creating a game, but in terms of balancing and playtesting, they are absolutely dog shit. Absolutely. I think that now in terms of Mr. Fifth Gear Josie, what this man is saying here, that he believes that they're cooked. I don't really believe that. I have my reasons for that, and I'm just looking at it just strictly from a business sense. Maybe for you and many players, like even myself, in terms of playing the game itself, but the business of Tekken is still strong. Tekken still maintains a very large market share within 3D fighters. Over Virtua Fighter, over Dead or Alive. They are, now that's not to say that can't change, but they are the market leader. And so with the microtransactions, the little gimmicks that people are still buying in the Tekken shop, because people are still buying that shit, people are still supporting this game. People are still streaming it. Content creators are still fucking talking about it. They're still playing the game. So the game is still relevant. So I can't say that Tekken 8 is cooked per se, because it's going to go on to having more seasons. It's going to have it's going to have a season 4. It's going to have a season 5. It's probably going to have a season 6, probably. But I do believe that if there was viable competition, and I've said this before, I do believe that the competition from other franchises like Virtua Fighter, like Dead or Alive, may influence the decision making of what's going on or what's being placed into Tekken. Because right now, there is nobody else. There's nothing. It's just Tekken. Unless you want to go and play a 2D game. If you want to go and play Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or fucking Fatal Fury, but all those games are 2D. So if you're looking for a 3-dimensional option, I mean, maybe you can go for the anime games, but I don't think many people are going that route. So I think a lot of players, they kind of feel stuck in that sense. And I think, like a toxic relationship, people are hoping that things will improve. People are hoping that, this will maybe it'll get better. And I've seen this. I've seen this time and time again, where I watched countless people on Reddit 2.0, Twitter, where they would say, season 3 is going to be it for us. And I'm reading these comments and these posts, and I'll be honest with you, I was just laughing my collective ass off. It's like, it's funny to me. It's like, how many times does it take for somebody to shit on you before you recognize it's pattern recognition? That's what it is. Like, does it, like, How many times does it take for the woman to cheat on you, probably with your best friend, before you recognize maybe this is not the right chick for me? Maybe this is not the right woman for me. Like, how many times does it, what does it take? Like, it's just so crazy to me. I have to laugh at it. And then it's like, so it's like entertainment for me at this point. Now that I've removed myself from playing this party game, and I'm looking at the Tekken community from the top down, and I'm surveying the whole territory, and I'm just laughing. I'm like, you guys really don't get it. All of this is premeditated. Everything that has happened with Tekken 8 as a product, this has been calculated, it's been measured. It is the mandate of the developers. They are doing exactly what they originally planned. When they talk about going back to basics, you know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of something many years ago, from the Dead or Alive community, where I think that the Dead or Alive developers, they were going around talking about core values. So it literally brought me back to that. And I was like, when I first heard the whole phrase of back to basics, when I heard it, I literally was thinking, like, where have I heard this? I've heard of something like this before. And I was like, wait a second. Didn't the Dead or Alive developers do something where they said something about core values? And I was like, oh, right. That's what it is. I tell you, if I was still, and I've said it once and I'll say it again. If I was still playing this game, if I was still streaming Tekken 8, if I were to stream this piece of shit game right now, the chances of me suffering a stroke, a heart attack, or blacking out live would go up exponentially. This game, it is not worth it. It's not worth it. Maybe if you are like Main Man or a Little Majin or Fitty X, you know, that guy, you know, that people who have very large channels and playing the game, streaming the game, yields you some kind of like financial profit where you can stomach the bullshit because you know at the end of the day you getting paid. That's a little different. But for me, why am I going to subject myself to that? And it did take me a long time to get to this point where I realized that this game, if I'm being very, very clear, it's not that the game is not going to change. It's that it's not going to change enough for me. And at the end of the day, yes, I'm pointing at the camera, you are the only one that matters. No matter what anybody says about any game, any product, at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your time, it's your mental health, it's your everything that matters at the end of the day. And this is why I say, if you are enjoying Tekken 8, hey, good for you. Keep on enjoying it. But if you're not enjoying this game, if you are raising hell, raising your fucking blood pressure playing this shit, if you are losing to fucking trash tactics, scrubs that wouldn't even give you, probably wouldn't even take a round off of you in any other Tekken, if you're going through all of this shit, why are you still playing this game? That is a fair question. And it's a question I had to ask myself. I have suffered and endured this piece of shit game for 2 full seasons. I didn't even have my fucking main character. Everybody else from my era, Shinblade, Nina, Steve, Anakin, Jack, fucking iMusician, Yoshimitsu, who else? JDCR, well, now he has Heihachi, Dragunov, every single player, Lil Majin, King, every single player that is from my era of competition and so on has their main character. That does matter because you're able to endure the bullshit because you're using your main. I don't even have my main character. And I've endured using a gimmick character called Raven. And I've endured 2 full seasons. I placed myself through that suffering. I knew from the very beginning, I knew from the announcement that they were going in the direction they were going, but I didn't realize how correct I was. I did not realize how right I was going to end up being. I felt like, you know what, let me give it a chance. And then once that closed beta came out and I saw 214 himself, Jin Kazama, and I was like, how in the fuck you as developers, you literally allowed this trash to persist for an entire season? You didn't think Jin needed to be fucking addressed? You didn't, not once? An entire season. So that right there told me what I needed to know. And then I persisted like a fool. And then came Clive, another busted bullshit fucking character that had no earthly business being in a Tekken game, when the vast majority of the Tekken community was saying, hey, give us Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. Now, I'm not the biggest Tifa fan. I'm more in line with Zell, Zell, from Final Fantasy VIII. However, both characters are more so rooted in martial arts, using hand-to-hand combat. But yet and still, they decided to go with fucking Clive. And we all know how that turned out. And then when it came to that patch that they did for him, which I made a video on many months ago, and they ended up giving him a slap on the wrist. So again, that told me, again, everything I needed to know. And yet I still persisted. I still kept on with this game. And it's like, I didn't really fully recognize that my relationship with Tekken 8 as a product was a toxic one. No different than if you're in a bad real life relationship with another person. I didn't realize it. And it took a lot. It took a lot for me to detach myself from this game, from this product, because it's not going to appeal to me. And that's where I say, for me, speaking for myself, I absolutely hate the mechanics of this game. The mechanics of Tekken 8 is some of the absolute worst I've ever seen in my 40 fucking years of playing video games. Let's go down the list. I have played Marvel vs. Capcom 1, 2, 3. I've played Dragon Ball Fighters. I've played Eternal Champions. I've played World Heroes. I've played Art of Fighting. I've played fucking Pit Fighter. I've played fucking Karate Champ. I've played every fucking thing that has a punch, kick, or slash button. And God is my witness, when it comes to the mechanics of Tekken 8, it definitely ranks among the worst I've ever dealt with. It is absolutely abhorrent. It is literally, you are literally able to commit virtual murder in Tekken 8. It's incredible. It is incredible. It's like, it borders on fascinating. Like, I've literally watched somebody get juggled on a conveyor belt. You know what a conveyor belt in a factory? Like, they're literally on a conveyor belt of fucking in midair. Like, it's just crazy. And it's like, wow. But it appeals to some people. So it took a lot of strength for me to remove myself from playing the game. Now, I can talk about the game. That's totally different. What's up, Daniel? Talking about the game is one thing, but when I see people that they have a hatred, a deep-seated hatred for Tekken 8, but then you go and you watch them stream and they're playing Tekken 8, there's a disconnect there. And that's where, when I mentioned ShinBlade, for instance, he's definitely one of the people that mentioned this, where he would actually say, and he's right, if you hate this game so much, and I'm not, I don't want to put words in his mouth, so I'm paraphrasing, but he's basically said, if you hate the game so much, but when I go and I see you playing the game, it's like, what the fuck? And I have to agree with him. He's absolutely right. No matter what I say about this game, no matter what I say about Tekken 8, I can say this game is trash. I can say it's this, that, and the other. Oh yeah, what's up, Hector? I'm feeling a lot better, by the way. That's why I'm streaming. I'm feeling a lot better. No matter what I say about Tekken 8, it's not going to change anything about this game. It's not going to change. You can go on Twitter. You can bitch and complain on your live streams. It doesn't matter. The developers, they are fine with their placing with the game. They have no competition from Dead or Alive. They have no competition from Virtua Fighter. There is nothing from a game standpoint, a competitive game standpoint, that is making them make changes or making them innovate or challenge themselves. This is why when I talk about Diablo 4, for instance, which is a game that I'm really, really enjoying. And I'm speaking in general, but so when I use the term "when you look at," that's what I mean. So I'm going to say it. When you look at a game like Diablo 4, they have competition from other games that's in the same space. They have Path of Exile 2 nipping at their heels. They have that other game which is more, it's more in line with a Souls-like, but it is Diablo-like, which is what's the fucking game? I've been wanting to play it. No Rest for the Wicked. And there are other games in the ARPG realm, in that genre, that give Diablo 4 a challenge. Now imagine if Diablo 4 was the only action RPG on the market. Do you really think the developers for Diablo, do you think they would feel pressured to put forth more effort? Do you think, no, they fucking wouldn't. They would do the bare minimum. When you have competition in any facet of business, it is 100% to the benefit of the customer, to the consumer. This is what Tekken does not have. There is no competition for Tekken whatsoever. Nothing. The developers are left to do bullshit. That is why you have the Tekken game you have. That's why. For those who are unaware, and I'm using Diablo as an example because, damn it, that's the fucking game I've been playing while I was sick in my bed for like the last 8 or so days. I played that game for fucking hours. They have an upcoming expansion April 28th. Now, mind you, Diablo 4 came out sometime in 2023. If you knew the amount of effort and what they're putting into this is essentially a Diablo 2.0. That amount of effort, I like to see that. It reminds me of the effort I've been seeing from the developers of No Man's Sky, the developers of Cyberpunk 2077. Believe me, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, this goes beyond just Tekken, but I'm trying to frame the developers that put forth effort versus developers that don't. And Tekken, they go in the don't category. When you look at developers that put forth actual effort into their games, now everything may not land. You may not like every fucking thing because everything is not perfect, but it's the effort. Those are the developers I prefer to support. I refuse to support Tekken 8 anymore as a consumer, given the fact that they have basically, as far as I'm concerned, spat in my fucking face and gave me the fucking finger. That's what they've done. So you know what I've done? I have used the time that I would normally put into a Tekken game, and I've decided to reinvest that same amount of time into another game, into a franchise that deserves my attention. And I feel that many of you should do the same thing. I strongly, and whatever that game may be for you, it may not even be Diablo 4 for you. Maybe it might be something entirely different. It might be Crimson Desert, it might be some other fucking game, or it might be another fighting game. But whatever that is for you, you have to accept that Tekken 8 was designed with a very particular direction. And on that front, they succeeded. They have. The developers of Tekken 8, they sought to create a Tekken game that is mindless, that is filled with brain rot, that is easy to pick up and play, that is flashy, that is, I guess, exciting. They've accomplished their mission. They have. But in them accomplishing said mission, they have lost me along the way. And as far as I'm concerned, I believe the developers, they don't care. They don't care about players like me, and they probably don't care about players like you. And for those people that are the Tekken 8 defenders, the Tekken 8 shills, and those people that actually legitimately enjoy playing Tekken 8, whatever the developers do with Tekken 8, it doesn't matter to those players because they're going to play it regardless. That's just something that I feel that people have to come to the realization and accept that Tekken 8 is what it is. It's not going to change. And the only thing you can do is you can either play the game as for what it is, as it is, or move on. Those are your two choices. Because shouting from the rooftops while dedicating your life energy to playing this party game, that makes you very disingenuous. That makes you kind of a hypocrite. And I feel that that energy can be better spent giving it to developers that put their time and effort in creating experiences that are more in line with you as a gamer. That's what I believe. And I understand, and I'll keep referencing this. I understand that it is hard for some people to let go of Tekken in that way. But you got to do something. Because if Tekken 8 is literally making you rip your fucking hair out, you have yourself to blame. And that's what it is. But yeah, what up, Crypto God? But yeah, Hector, I'm feeling a lot better. But yeah, I was pretty much bedridden. Ironically, I got sick the day before season 3. So can you imagine that the timing of that? But during that time, I was playing a shit ton of Diablo, and I mean a shit ton. Like I played like hours. Like we're talking about in terms of hours, I must have played close to 4 days worth of Diablo 4. And so yeah. And looking at the quality of the game, the quality of the world, the music, which I don't think a lot of people even mention, the Diablo 4 soundtrack is very, very good. I feel they do a very good job at creating a world where things in the world just seem full of despair. Like I love games that show and highlight quality world building and just capturing the theme. I love seeing that. And I will be purchasing that Lords of Hatred expansion. They've definitely earned my money on that front, 100%. I'll be goddamned if I would give that same money over to fucking Tekken 8 to invest in a fucking trash season that they have. I'll be damned. You barely see any positive videos on Tekken 8. I think so. I always feel like it's worthwhile to say this, that there are good aspects of Tekken 8 as a game. Tekken 8 is not a 100% horrible product. It has horrible mechanics, but in terms of its netcode, it's definitely much better than older Tekkens. In terms of the music is solid. You can debate and argue which game has better music, but Tekken 8 music is not bad. The graphics are absolutely very, very good. The choreography, like there's a lot of things to Tekken 8 that is good. And I think that's the thing that really frustrates me, is that the developers, they just did not have the confidence in this product to put it out just off of that alone. If Tekken 8 did not have heat at all, it would be so much of a better product. It would be so much better, because then the main issues that would plague Tekken 8 would be the issues that has plagued every fighting game, which is character balance. And you can address that through, patches, upgrades, and shit like that, because you're never going to get a cast of characters, especially the more characters you have in your game. It's very hard to balance so many characters in a fighting game. It's very difficult. Very, very difficult. But I will say that I do feel that the Tekken developers have done a pretty shit job. From what I understand, I believe I've heard some people say that they heat smashes, and I've seen a video about this actually, where if you whiff the initial hit, if the subsequent hit of the heat smash makes contact, it will still trigger a wall splat. That comes down to poor design. That's what that comes down to. That is just something that I'm surprised the developers let that slip through the cracks. As a developer, what you are doing is you're creating a series of cause and effect. If I hit you, it's going to have this particular effect. So if your decision was to remove the wall splat mechanic from heat smashes, then you as the developer should have made certain under any circumstance that outcome never happens under any circumstance. So the fact that Jin Kazama is the only character, to my understanding, who his particular heat smash does not result in a wall splat, regardless of whether or not the first portion whiffs or not, that is just I feel it's amateur. I feel it's amateur. Like before you clicked the done button on your update and you hit upload, you should have made sure of that. I feel like there's no excuse for that, in my opinion. Especially these are supposed to be seasoned developers. And you already are well aware of the backlash that you have for your game from season 2. That this should have made you be on your fucking P's and Q's for season 3, and you let something like that slip. That's not good, man. That's not good. That does not give me confidence in the development team of Tekken 8. It doesn't. It just does not. I heard of this emergency patch, and from what I read, I didn't make a video about it because I didn't think it was worth my time to, but from what I read, it really just was them removing many of the unintended aspects of certain characters' moves, like Jack Stomp, Heihachi's up back 12. If they did rectify that whole wall splat heat smash mechanic, that's good. That's fine. But if it's still a situation where you whiff the first portion of a heat smash on purpose and the subsequent hits result in a wall splat, that's horrible. That's horrible. When I look at a game like Tekken 8, I feel that Tekken 8 could have definitely benefited from having many in the Tekken community that are expert to elite level players, have them or grant them time with the game before it goes live. Let them find a bunch of the bullshit, so that way when the game is officially live to the public, there is a lot less issues with the game. And it's not that there isn't money in their budget for such things, because I'm sure there is. And especially if they give a fuck with how their game, their product is to be received, I believe that they would make an effort to do that. And I think that would just be something that would be very beneficial to the awareness and the reception of the game, whether it's Tekken, Mortal Kombat, or any game. I feel from a fighting game standpoint in this day and age, having expert level players being able to go into your game and basically break it, essentially, and fix before you go live, I think that would be such a great thing. Such a great thing. It's like companies that purposely hire white hat. There's a term called like black hat and white hat when it comes to hackers, or ethical hackers, where companies would hire these ethical hackers to attempt to hack into their own company to find out vulnerabilities within their own infrastructure. That is something that game developers should do from a conceptual standpoint, by bringing in players from the community to essentially break their game, and then basically be like, hey, this is what we found. This is what you should fix before you go live with this patch. Because the funny thing about this, how long did it take those in the Tekken community to find that Heihachi up back 12, or that Jack 8 Stomp Infinite, or that fucking Feng Wei? I saw Feng Wei doing his heat smash over and over again while in heat. How long did it take for them to? I think it took like less than a day. I think it was like less than a fucking day. It's like, come on, man. Like, these people don't know what the fuck they're doing, yo. That's when it comes. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Half this shit, probably a fucking hour. Like, I was literally seeing things that was being done in Tekken 8, and I'm like, how in the fuck? Like, didn't the season 3 just come out? Like, what the fuck? So if people in your community found this out in less than 24 hours, that to me does not instill a lot of confidence in your development team. It doesn't. I feel like having an emergency patch like this, I don't know how many of you guys are still in the stream or not, but I feel like having an emergency patch is an embarrassment. I feel it's an embarrassment. I feel it's embarrassing. Like, it's almost like you're admitting you don't know how to do your job. That's what it looks like to me. That's how I interpret it. It's like we came out with this patch, this season 3 update, which we've definitely been working on for a bit. We've been working on it longer than a few days, and now we come out with it. And people in the community basically find a way to break it inside of one day. Like, what the fuck? I gotta laugh at this game, man. I have to laugh at it. They are incompetent, exactly. Like, after a while, you have to ask yourself, even if you are the most stalwart person of Tekken, you have to admit that these people are just not that bright. You know what I'm saying? Same day I saw those bugs when reading patch notes. Emergency patch for showing foolish and incompetent. They wanted to make Tekken for everyone and no one at the same time. Yeah, I mean that a lot of times what ends up happening is when you're trying to make a product that appeals to a wider market, business wise, you want your product to scale. You want it to be playable for multiple people. You want to increase your market share. And that's where I said at the very beginning of the stream, I believe, where I said that there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance to where, one, you're not alienating your hardcore market, the market that has stood behind you and got you to this position. You don't want to necessarily do that. You don't want to alienate them, but at the same time, you still want to grow. So I believe that you could do both. The problem is that I don't know. I mean, I guess you could assume it at the time. It was probably Nakatsu. It was probably that guy and Murray, but it was probably some other people within the Namco headquarters. Who knows? That may have forced a particular decision when it comes to how they wanted this game, this product to appeal to the masses. You know, but at the end of the day, this was just not the right way of going about things. I feel that they could have had just as much, if not similar, I guess, positive success for Tekken 8 without all of this heat. All the heat aspect was something that was never needed for this game. There are many other ways you can make a game appeal to the casual crowd. The mere fact that you augmented the armor attacks, the mere fact that you still have rage arts, which I absolutely can't stand. But if I had to, I would much rather eliminate both heat and rage. But if I'm going to be fair, and if I had to keep one or the other, I would just simply say, hey, make rage arts done once per match and completely remove heat out of this game. That would be something that would take the game in a much better position. Right now, if you are trying to fix this game through character balance alone, which is what it looks like to me what they're trying to do, you're not going to address this. You're never going to fix this game, because it's going to come down to what can this character do while they're in heat, because that is always going to be a looming threat. That is one of the reasons why I cannot stand these mechanics, because they are essentially having a loaded gun at any point in time. Somebody has a loaded gun trained on you, and they can pull the trigger at any point, and you don't know when. You don't. And it's actually something that I said while I was kind of thinking out loud one time. And I said that, you know, not only do you have characters that are horribly balanced, which is kind of the nature of Tekken, but you also have these asinine mechanics like heat, which, again, I reference almost like a gun, right? Like a firearm. But much like you have different tiers of characters, not everybody's heat is created equal. Some characters' heat is absolutely trash compared to somebody else's. So while heat may represent an actual gun, some characters' heat is a loaded gun, and other characters' heat, it's still a gun, but it's a gun that doesn't go off. So not only are you dealing with a busted, broken character, but you're also having to deal with their fucking stupid heat as well. So that's like literally a double whammy right there. Like, so how are you supposed to contend with that? And that's the thing that got me personally, where I've had matches, for instance, in season 1, not season 1, but season 2, where I'm fighting against an Ana player, for instance, right? And I think I've had streams where I've literally lost my collective mind and I rage the fuck out to everybody's entertainment. Where I'm playing against an Ana player who I can tell I'm better than the player, but they're being carried by Ana. So now I get them down to like, you know, minimal health. And now I have to go into bait mode. Why? Because I don't know if and when they're going to throw out a Hail Mary Rage Art. So now, instead of me capitalizing on my earned momentum, I now have to walk on eggshells because I don't know if that player is just going to throw a random fucking Hail Mary Rage Art and kill me and steal my round. And then because here it gets better, because now I'm a little bit more hesitant because I don't know if they're going to throw out the Rage Art or not. Now I'm letting them back in the game, and now they're building momentum against me. And I'm like, fuck this fucking game. And this is a situation that happens every single fucking round. Every single round they're in heat. Now you have to go in bait mode. You can't just finish them off. I mean, you could if you want to run the risk, and then they happen to throw out that fucking Rage Art, and now you got to watch a cutscene and watch the fucking round you busted your ass to fucking that you earned. Now they got the round off of you. Now instead of you being up one round, they're up one round. That's the fucking shit about Tekken 8 I can't stand. And that's not including what they can do with heat. When you're dealing against bullshit like fucking Lydia, where when that bitch activates heat, you might as well put you might as well put your fucking, you might as well put this on the fucking table and just and fold your hands and just say fuck it. Just be a via con Dios. Go with God. Like literally. But this, I'm getting stressful even talking about this shit. It's literally it's some of the dumbest mechanics I've ever seen. It truly is. It goes to show how ignorant and stupid people are that actually defend this shit. Fine, if you enjoy the game, go and enjoy the game. But don't try to convince me that your game is good. Get the holy cosmic level shadow realm the fuck out of this galaxy with that shit. That is absurdly bullshit. Every single round in a Tekken match, unless you manage to wipe them out completely, if they are in rage, you are at risk. How in the fuck, like, let me see. You know what that's like? That's like if I'm in a fight and I have you on fucking Queer Street or like you're like fucked up, you're dazed and you're half out of your fucking mind and shit. And you're up against the ropes. And instead of me finishing you off, I take a step back because I don't know if your corner is going to fucking hand you a fucking missile launcher and blow me away. It's silly me breaking it down, but that's how stupid this game is. It's literally dumb. So while I can understand that there might be people who actually enjoy this product, and that's fine. It's fine to like a game with shit mechanics. Fine. That is on you. Real talk. It's just absolutely insane. Rage Arts, that whole premise of them adding that was they wanted to give players the ability to beat and compete against people that are above them. Players that are not as good as someone else, they did not want to put forth the effort and the time needed to get up to that level. So it's essentially a shortcut. That's what it is. It's a shortcut. And the developers' inclusion of these particular mechanics is not for players like myself. I've never needed a fucking rage art. My skill is my comeback mechanic. If I ain't got it, I ain't got it. Like, so that excuse I've heard from developers saying, oh, well, we want to make the match more exciting. You know, having a comeback mechanic makes it more thrilling. I've heard all that bullshit. Well, it's ironic that one of the most legendary comebacks in all of gaming was what? Daigo versus Justin Wong? The third strike, the parry. Hop, pop, 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 pop. Jump up, heavy kick, low forward, fucking Tatsu, all that shit. Like, that wasn't a rage art like mechanic. That wasn't a single input thing. That wasn't like, I'm just going to hit down forward in both punches and sit back and watch a cutscene. No, that was Daigo timing each individual strike from Chun-Li's lightning kicks, and then having the presence of mind and the execution to do a full-on combo all in one sequence. That was a comeback. And that is a comeback that most in the fighting game community will never forget. And it is still hype to this day. So the lie that these developers come up with saying, well, we needed this because no, it's bullshit. You just want to make it as easy as possible for some low-level scrub to come in that probably never played Tekken a day in their life, and then after 20 minutes in practice mode, they could be a fucking threat to players like myself that have spent over 3 decades playing this franchise. That's what this shit comes down to. That's what it's always been about. Because they know that a lot of players are fucking lazy, shiftless, and they don't have the discipline to commit themselves to actually learning and getting better at a game. So they recognize that, you know something, look at all of the potential money we're leaving on the table, because many of these players don't want to go through that grind. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to make the game fucking easy as fucking easy as applesauce. Okay, smooth as applesauce, easy as applesauce, because it's just nothing. We're going to make it easy like that, and now we're going to have more people come in. The problem with that is now you're pissing off your fucking hardcore market, this very same market that has been with you from day zero. And now you have players like myself and others that have just basically said, finally, I'm fucking done. I have literally endured your bullshit for fucking decades. I have endured so much stress from this game, from this franchise, that I've probably shortened my lifespan. I have probably shortened my lifespan. And I mean that. I mean that. It's absolutely insane that never did I think that at round 1 fight, both of us have the same equal chance at winning. I get over on you. I have you at death's door. You have like what, 20% health left. I have the momentum. I'm rushing you down. And all you have to do is mash out one input at any random point in time. So now I'm forced to now give you a wide berth because I don't know if you're going to throw it out or not. I don't. It's completely fucking random. it's you know what it's like? It's like sleeping with a hooker without just raw ball. It's just going to the Vegas Strip and just finding some random skeezer on the strip and just sliding your meat in there and just taking a chance. You don't know. You don't fucking know. Good luck. Like it's that stupid. You fucking don't fucking know. It's like that's why this game Tekken 8 has nothing to do with the character balance. It has nothing. It's all the mechanics. Because you can nerf Brian Fury, you can nerf Anna Williams into the fucking ground. You can nerf them under the ground until you change and radically change the mechanics of Tekken 8. The game will remain as it is. All you're doing by nerfing one character, you're replacing one devil with another. Because the game fundamentally is still the fucking same. The only thing you can do is either keep playing or just say, fuck it, I'm going to move on. And I decided to move on. Because there are far too many better solid games out that you can play. There just is. That in order for them to fix Tekken 8, the developers would have to do something very significant. They would have to completely remove heat out of Tekken 8. Or at the very minimum, give players the option of playing with heat or without heat. And also, like, if you're going to keep rage arts, like I said, give it once per match. I don't even like that at all, but I'm willing to be fair. Because at least if having a rage art once per match, that forces the player on the defensive end to decide, do I accept losing this one round and try to, maybe I can try to win this round without the rage art, but if I use the rage art in round 2, I will not have it in rounds 3, 4, and 5. That now makes the rage art more of a strategic tool as opposed to just some sort of fucking gift that the developers are saying here every single time that you're fucking in 20% health. I had a good time, laughed my ass off watching this silly ass game. So anyway, I guess salute. My brain is half shut off. I can't believe I'm even still awake right now. Anyway, take care, y'all.